Hi, my name is Matt Joseph Diaz, and I'm working with Ravishly.com to bring you something very special today. Right now, I'm actually moving out of my apartment and my city and my state. So this video is going to be up a little bit later. But at the time of recording, we're actually less than 2 days out from the horrible shooting that happened at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. And mostly, I've avoided saying something about it because I don't know what to say. There's a lot of LGBT activists who have said so many wonderful and beautiful and way more thoughtful things than I could ever hope to say. But that being said, and with Pride Weekend coming up, there's something I'd like to talk about. And I've alluded to it offhandedly before, and I've talked about it briefly on my blog, but I've never actually really openly discussed it. This is weird. This feels weird. I'm bisexual, and honestly, I had no idea until I was like 22 years old. And I'm not trying to say this to join the legion of YouTubers who all openly come out in different videos. It's something that I want to talk about because it's still very new to me. It's something that I've yet to really explore. And it's confusing and it's complicated, and if you've talked to a lot of people who've come out, it's something that's happened relatively late in my adulthood. You know, suddenly figuring this out when you're 22 years old is pretty fucking out of left field. I realized it about a year and a half ago, and it's something that's become a lot more of a prevalent thing in my life, even though I really haven't explored it that much. It's been a pretty fucking crazy year and a half in general, you know, between like the YouTube videos and the activism and the completely changing my career path and the 2 surgeries. There's been a lot of adjustments going on in my life, generally speaking. And honestly, not only is it something I'm still trying to explore, but it's something I'm still trying to get comfortable exploring. There are obviously some benefits to realizing this a little bit later in your life. I'm more adjusted, I'm more experienced, I've had more time to really learn about the world and about myself. But at the same time, there's a lot of really scary things about figuring this out pretty late. I mean, not only is it a pretty big fucking shake-up to your whole system, but it does kind of feel like being that guy who just started watching Game of Thrones at like season 5 when everybody else totally understands the lore and how the world works and the backstory and everything. I kind of lost myself in the analogy there, but I think you get what I'm saying. It's scary because you're already well into adulthood and now you kind of become a part of this community and you have no idea how they're going to treat you, if they're going to invalidate your feelings. How do I tell people? Who do I even tell? What is my place on this whole sexuality spectrum? How far down the rabbit hole does this go? What does it mean for my romantic relationships? What does it mean for my relationship to sex? It's a lot of shit to take in and it's really fucking scary. But I wanted to make this video because I want people to understand something. Bisexuality and sexuality in general are a very wide spectrum with all these different points that are unique to every single person. And that's very important because I feel like we can get very lost in the labels of what does bisexual mean, what does pansexual mean, all these different things. When in actuality, the really important thing is you and how you feel. I'm going to talk about this more in something I'm writing later, but I didn't even go by bisexual for nearly a year. I went by queer for over a year because I didn't understand what bisexuality meant because of how it was always portrayed in media and by other people. When the truth is, sexuality is a very individual, very personal thing. And you don't have to qualify within certain spectrums to have your sexuality be valid. All I want people to take from this is that your sexual identity is something that's personal and important and deserves to be explored. It's real and it's valid no matter how late into your life you discover more about it. And you deserve the right and you have the right to explore it at your own pace, at whatever speed you're comfortable with. And anyone who tries to invalidate you and tell you your sexuality isn't real or isn't valid has a closed-minded view on what it means to be a human being. And toxic people like that deserve to be ignored. It's fucking strange, and I'm not gonna act like it isn't, but it's a part of me, and it's an important part of me, and I'm done ignoring that. Especially after everything that's happened recently. It would be so easy to just kind of continue to hide my sexual identity, but I don't want to fucking do that. I spent the last year and a half trying to figure out what I am and who I am, and I'm still figuring that out, but I'm fucking proud of who I am. So yeah, I'm bisexual. Like half the comments under every YouTube video I've ever been in were kinda right, and I'm gonna keep finding out who I am, and I hope you do the same. That's all for now, guys. Check out Ravishly.com for a bunch of great articles, including stuff that I write. Check out my Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, links all down there, all at Matt Joseph Diaz. And if you want to continue to support my work and what I do here, check out mattjosephdiaz.com/donate. I'm glad I could talk to you guys. I'll see you soon.